Okay, guys, pressing on with the CD collection. I think last week or the week before hit right at 1 year since I started doing these videos, this series, this collection, CD collection series. We're 40 videos in, and we're still in the D's. So we're just going to keep pressing forward. I'm glad that at least I've had the motivation to stay the course this far, and I'm really hoping I can persevere and get through the entire CD collection. So that's enough of that. Let's just keep going. First up, this is an album that I didn't really enjoy when I first received it. I thought it was all right, but it's kind of grown on me since. This is Demontage with Fire of Iniquity. This is a band out of, I believe they're out of Canada. I got this through Metalhead Box. They are very, very old school sounding. They have this old school thrashy sound. They incorporate black metal in with it as well. Something just, I don't know, it just didn't click with me when I first listened. I thought it was okay, but it just kind of got shelved. Revisited the album not too terribly long ago, and I enjoyed it quite a bit more than I remembered. So there we go. There's a Demontage with Fire of Iniquity. Next up, we have some black metal out of Texas. This is Demontage with Of the Fallen Years. This came out in 2010, I'm wanting to say. One thing about this band is this is a compilation of early material when the band was known as The Fallen or Fallen. I think just Fallen. And they put this out as a full length in 2010. They changed their name to Demontuary, and then they never put anything else out. So I would have I don't understand the whole concept of changing the band name and then putting out a CD based on your own old band name and then never putting anything else out. I'm sure they probably had planned on putting something out. Metal Archives has this band still labeled as active, but they've done nothing since 2010. So I guess we'll wait and see. I wanted to hear where they went from this, but unfortunately, I never heard anything else. Next up, we have some black and death metal. This is Denouncement Pyre with Black Sun Unbound. This is their latest full length. I think it came out around 2016. They haven't released anything since. This is the only Denouncement Pyre album that I have in my collection. It is my favorite release from them. I wasn't real keen on some of their earlier stuff, but I dug this one quite a bit. Hoping that they put out something else sometime in the future. I believe this was released on Hell's Headbangers. It was, but a pretty good little slab of black and death metal there from Denouncement Pyre. Next up, this is a band that for some reason in my mind always tells me that this band is from France. They are not from France, from Canada. I think it's because the band name looks French to me. This band is from Australia. This is Depart with Failure Subside. This is kind of post black metal fused with death metal. I know that sounds like a weird combination of things, like the atmospherics mixed in with their kind of brand of death metal. Kind of reminds me of Ulcerate at times, but I actually think I may enjoy Depart more than Ulcerate, if that makes any sense to you whatsoever. This was released on Season of Mist, and this one also came out in 2016. Next up, we've got some Napoleonic black metal. This is Departure Chandelier with Antichrist Rise to Power. Pretty good slab of black metal here. It is the only full length that this band has out. Actually, this came out on Nuclear War Now Productions, but I actually purchased this through Life After Death label. I know that lately it seems like I've been ordering from Life After Death nonstop, and that's because I have. It is a label that I have enjoyed ordering. I've gotten some killer deals, and this one was no different. I had my eye on picking this up for quite some time, and I saw it on their site, so I went ahead and snagged it. But it is a nice slab of black metal there. Next up, we have a Phosphorus with Impossible Orbits. This was released on Self Made God Records in 2017. This is a mix of black metal, grindcore, death metal. I think the main elements going on here is kind of like a black and grind feel. Very strong release. I'm not sure if this band has any other material out or not. I never really delved into their discography. I just kind of came across this one on a whim, but I did enjoy this album. So if I ever get in the mood, um, that is something that I could explore a little bit deeper and check out some more of their material. But that is the Phosphorus with Impossible Orbits. Next up, we have some technical thrash metal out of Germany. This is a classic album. It's showing 1994. I'm thinking the album itself came in 93. Maybe this pressing came out in 94. This is a Depressive Age with Lying in Wait. This album is pretty good. The predecessor, the album that came out before this, I think I enjoyed a little bit more. But I do dig this one for what it is. It is the only Depressive Age release that I have in my collection. Fun fact about this one, it's in that old, I guess that original jewel case that it came in, and it's so much heavier, so much more substantial than some of the jewel cases that you get nowadays, if you're lucky enough to even get a release that comes in a jewel case. But it's just the weight on this is a bit different than what I'm used to now. Next up, we have some brutal death metal out of Sweden. This is Deranged with Rated X. I only own a couple Deranged albums, but everything that I've heard from them is really good. The scene in Sweden, Sweden is such a strong point of heavy metal, just in the history of heavy metal and especially death metal. So there's so many good bands that come out of Sweden. Deranged is no different. They just very strong, brutal death metal. Also have Deranged with Plainfield Cemetery. When I first got into this, I kind of put off listening to Deranged when I saw just the album arts like that. That just screams like a deathcore album to me for some reason. And I kind of put off listening to them longer than I should have. But I enjoyed both of the releases that I own. So I need to start doing some more digging deeper in their discography. I guess I don't need to. I mean, I have over 4,000 albums that I can spend my attention to as it is. I don't know if I need to just keep adding and adding to the collection. Next up is one that I just got not too long ago. You guys saw me open it on that Horror, Pain, Gore, Death grab bag. This is Despondency with Generate the Genocide. Thrashy death metal. Pretty good stuff. I did give this one a few spins before it got shelved away. If you follow my Instagram, you probably saw the post on the day that I was taking care of some business here around the house and giving some of this HP GD stuff some spins, and I definitely dug that one quite a bit. Next up, this is my buddy James Kloppy, his band, death metal out of Wisconsin. They were disbanded for a bit. I think they are getting back together. They've done a little bit of a lineup change, and I think they're about to stick it out and try to put out some new material. This is Descending the Heavens with the Infinite EP. Just chunky death metal. Good stuff here. I think it's 5 tracks. I had to change it. I had a black tray on the inside, but the little prongs that hold the disc in, the little teeth, got busted, so I had to put a clear one in. And then he also sent me their 2012 demo, Bow Before Me. I can get it out. It's just, I'm not even going to take it out. It's just on a CDR. I am looking forward to hearing some new material from Descending the Heavens. It's been a long time coming. So, next up, we have Descent with Towers of Gradiosity. This was released on Redefining Darkness in 2018, I'm wanting to say. Redefining Darkness has an act for finding and putting out some pretty stellar material. This is no different. Definitely check it out. I like that artwork on that quite a bit. But that is Descent with Towers of Gradiosity. Next up, I got a couple albums from the band Desecration. First up, we have a Gore and Perversion 2. Got this one very, very cheap. There's just some maniacal stuff. This was a UK press, so I'm sure at some point someone paid a lot of money to get it over here. Back in the day, the import section of CD stores had ridiculously high prices. There you see Death effing Metal, and that is exactly what you get from Desecration. And then I have the 20 years of Perversion and Gore kind of compilation set. It's in this weird box, so you actually have to open it up, like unfold it to get the disc out. I don't know if it's going to cooperate. There we go. I think there's a sticker still, yeah, or a card. Desecration, Obscene, Hardcore Perverts, and then there's the actual disc, and then it has some demo material, some 7-inch material, just some nasty kind of lo-fi, gnarly Desecration material going on. There's a little poster in there. I haven't pulled this one off in a while. I need to give it a spin. I haven't thought about Desecration in a while. Some of this stuff came out late 90s, mid 90s, and we all know that that's generally some good stuff. Let me fold that up. That's probably the most difficult CD case that we'll deal with in this video. Next up, I don't remember this one at all. I'm going to have to revisit this. I have no idea when I got this one. I didn't remember the artwork. I mean, I got 4,000 albums that over. That's going to happen sometimes. This is Desecracy with Stoic Death. I'm assuming this is death metal. It was released on Extreme Music in 2015, but it's just completely slipping my mind. I don't remember picking this one up. So I'm definitely going to be setting this one off to the side and revisiting. I could have come in at a time, sometimes you're just kind of going through some things, and maybe the mental state isn't completely there, but I'm going to kind of set that one off to the side. That's something that I want to revisit. If somebody's familiar with that, definitely jump in the comments and let me know what I'm in for before I even check that out, if you're so kind. Next up, we have some black metal. I believe this band, I'm pretty sure they're out of Brazil. I did a video on this and a giveaway a few years ago. This is Desgracia Eterna with Sombrio Pacto Com Escuerdo Eterna. Yeah, I butchered that. I did an album spot, as I said, an album spotlight and giveaway quite some time ago on this album. A good slab of black metal, kind of South American sounding black metal. Enjoyed this one quite a bit. Obviously I enjoyed it enough to get an extra copy and do a giveaway to share it with someone. So next up, this is one that I have never even opened. It came in a grab box or something, or someone just threw it in as a freebie, and it's a compilation, and I haven't heard any of the albums on this. I need to check it out. It's from Desolation House. It's just a 2-disc comp. I'm not even sure what to expect on this. I hadn't heard of any of the bands or anything, so maybe that's something I can, when I have some extra time and looking to explore into something new, I can kind of listen to that. Next up, we have Despise the Sun with Ember of the Almighty. This is some brutal stuff. 8 tracks of just melt your face off. Brutality, pig squeals, grunts, all that good stuff. This was released on Ossuary Industries, so I mean, you kind of know what you're in for if you're familiar with Ossuary Industries. You know that the brutality is coming. So next up, we have Despondency with God on Acid. I only have just the front liner with this, so I just put it in the little thin line jewel case to try to save a little bit of space on the shelves. I've had this one in the collection for forever. I've had this. This is one of the few. I had a big binder of albums that got stolen. It's been well over 10 years ago now. You know, the big CD binder flipping that we used to keep in our cars back in the day to listen to music on the go. This one had come out of that binder, I guess just in time to not be stolen, but I lost some really hard to find now albums in that, so still a little bit salty about that. Next up, we have Desi Darium. This is kind of progressive melodic death metal. I believe they're out of Phoenix. This came out last year. This one is entitled Shadow Burn. I wasn't too enthralled with some of their earlier material, but this album that came out last year really kind of spoke to me and grabbed my attention back towards this band. They have an album coming out, I think this week or next week. They've got a new album, so I'm kind of interested to see if they kind of kept this style going forward and kind of embarked more on this journey that they're kind of set forth with Shadow Burn. Very solid melodic death metal, progressive death metal, but I dug this album quite a bit. Next up, these are a couple of albums that I picked up in a bulk lot from Metal Blade Records. This is the Destro with As the Coil Unwinds. Don't remember a ton about this. I know it has this kind of death metal, I think like this death metal hardcore kind of feel going on, if memory serves me correct. It was kind of a few plays and done with this back when I received them. Kind of at that point now where I can start going back and revisiting some of this stuff. I know some people say you just throw stuff on the shelves and never listen to it again and it just collects dust. I try not to be that way. If I have something on my shelf, everything everything that is opened and not sealed that is on my shelves, I try to listen to at least twice before it gets filed away. The Desolation House, that was kind of a little bit different circumstance just because it was a compilation and it was 2 discs and it seemed like a lot of effort to put into something that I had no clue when I have so much other stuff to listen to. Next up, we have the Destro with Harmony of Discord. I think I liked As the Coil Unwinds a bit more than this one, but I like the artwork on this one a bit better. Not going to spend too much time on the Destro, but there we go. Next up, we have Destroy, Destroy, Destroy with Battle Sluts. That's very interesting stuff. This was released on Black Market Activities in 2009. So, actually, I thought it had been out a little bit longer than that. Black Market, man, they're very weird. They've always been like weird with some of the stuff that they put out. Black Market Activities. It was such I mean, the majority of it is extreme metal in one way or the other, but just it's very polarizing as far as like the genres and stuff that they put out. But I don't know, just the Destroy, Destroy, Destroy name is very, I don't know, that's funny to me. So next up, we have Destroy the Titan with their self-titled EP. This is 5 tracks, came out in 2015. Death metal, has a few little core elements going on with this as well. I think it had one of the members of Suffocation or someone that had played with Suffocation at one point. I don't remember as far as the lineup goes. It was a pretty decent little EP though. I don't know if the band has put anything else out since then or not. I am getting back to the artworks. I am a fan of that artwork though. Next up, we have Destroyer 666 with Phoenix Rising. I am a big fan of this album. This came out in 2001. I don't know why I don't have more Destroyer 666 in my collection. People ask me all the time. They tell me I'm always the hardest person to send VCLT or send stuff to because they don't know. They feel like I've got everything. I really don't. I just have bits and pieces of things. If you're wanting to send me something out of the kindness of your heart and save me a few dollars, Destroyer 666 is one of the ways you can go about doing that. So, I mean, Christmas is right around the corner. Maybe someone getting me a Christmas present in the family or something's watching this video, knock on wood. So, we can get some Destroyer 666 for Christ's birthday. Next up, we have Destructor with Sonic Bullets. Kind of thrashy, traditional metal. Some power stuff going on as well. This was released on Reaper Metal. This hasn't been out too terribly long, I don't think. This is a pretty fun album. This is one of those albums that makes you just want to raise the fist. And it's pretty relentless as well. I think that artwork is very fitting for that release. Let's go ahead and show the inside. This came with, I was listening to this about the time that I had a couple other albums in the car, and one of the CDs is stuck in a jewel case in the wrong jewel case, so I figured I would check it to see maybe if it was in there, but it was not. Next up, a classic album here. We have Deteriorate with Rotting in Hell. This is the reissue that has the demos on the separate disc. This was released through Dark Symphonies and Dark Descent. Classic death metal. Bit of death grind, I feel like, goes on in this as well. Just classic album. I'm sure if you're watching this, you've heard of Deteriorate. That's one thing I love about Dark Symphonies is the reissues, because some of this stuff, if you were trying to hunt out the original issues, it would cost a small fortune, or you would be stuck buying bootlegs. I do have some bootlegs that we'll run across in the collection as we go through. I think we've probably already hit some already, just because the price on the originals is just astronomical, and I just can't see paying that price. But very, very thankful that Dark Symphonies put out that reissue there for Deteriorate. And then the last one for this video, this is some more death metal. This was another Redefining Darkness. I mentioned them a little bit earlier in this video. This is a killer release, and this one has become a bit hard to come by. This is more death metal, very grindy death metal at times. This is Deathrus with Hack to Death. Just violent looking stuff there. I love this, but I love this release. This was released in 2019. I didn't even think it had been out that long. It still feels so fresh on the mind. But I think I actually lucked out and got this through Metalhead Box. So one of the better albums in recent memory that I think of that I got. I got it, I'm sure, close to 2019. So I say recent memory. As I said, it feels more recent than 2019 that I got my hands on this. But this is a killer nasty release. So that's all for this one. I will try to get another one up, hopefully before the end of the week or right around the first part of next week. Stay classy, and I'll see you guys soon, I promise.